Kansas City pulled away the way elite teams do. Ugly first half, clinical second half, and suddenly a routine-looking win. The Chiefs beat the Commanders 28-7 at Arrowhead, a game tied at the break that turned into a Mahomes clinic after halftime. Patrick Mahomes finished 25 of 34 for 299 yards and 3 second-half touchdown passes as Kansas City dominated the final 30 minutes. There are two obvious places to start: absence and adjustment. Washington was missing Jayden Daniels, hamstring, and Marcus Mariota started in his place. Mariota did his job early, and Washington actually matched the Chiefs through the first two quarters. Terry McLaurin hauled in a late first-half score to make it 7-7, but Mariota couldn't keep pace once Kansas City flipped the script. Mariota finished with about 213 passing yards, a lone touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Washington's offense stalled in the second half. Reuters. What separates good teams from pretenders in November is how fast they identify and fix the things that went wrong in the first half. The Chiefs did exactly that. Mahomes had 2 early turnovers, the offense looked off rhythm, and the defense was giving up yards. Then Kansas City tightened everything up. The adjustments were both schematic and executional: cleaner protection, quicker reads, better situational play calling, and an opportunistic defense that started forcing Washington into 3rd and long and turnovers. The result was 3 touchdown drives that felt inevitable once they got rolling. NFL.com. Part of the reason Kansas City's second half was so stark, their weapon mix clicked. Travis Kelce, 6 catches, 99 yards, 1 TD, and Rashee Rice, 9 catches, 93 yards, 1 TD, gave Mahomes 2 reliable windows to attack: Kelce over the middle and Rice stretching the boundary. Kareem Hunt also finished with a pair of scores and provided physical balance. When Mahomes has defenders to stress across multiple levels, his decision-making gets cleaner. That's what happened after halftime, and why the yardage and scoring spike looked so dramatic on the box score. Reuters. Washington's problems were mostly identity and depth. Losing Daniels matters more than just the QB play. It removes the team's playmaking engine, the read and react centerpiece who made tight window completions and kept drives alive. Mariota, a former starter with legitimate pro chops, can manage a game, but isn't a perfect surrogate for what Daniels brings. Add to that missed opportunities, a failed 4th and 1, some red zone stops, and the Commanders' margin for error evaporated in the second half. Dan Quinn's team looked energetic and competitive early. The difference was the Chiefs' ability to take away those small edges and turn them into scoring momentum. CBS Sports defensively, the Chiefs deserve credit for making the game one-dimensional. After halftime, they squeezed the run lanes and pinned Washington's receivers into contested targets. The Chiefs also created turnovers at key moments. A pick and pressure that resulted in stalled Washington drives, and that directly changed the scoreboard. When you press an opponent into playing catch-up against Mahomes, you give him more opportunities to pick apart coverages. That's football 101, and Kansas City delivered the lesson. CBS Sports coaching matters here too. Andy Reid's offense is still one of the most stable and adaptable systems in the league, even on nights when the first half looks sloppy. The staff dialed up a better mix of play action and pre-snap motion after halftime to free Kelce and Rice, and Mahomes executed with improved timing. On the Washington side, Quinn's aggressive approach early, including 4th down attempts, showed teeth. But when the offense stalled later, there wasn't much to force Kansas City off its plan. In short, Reid's group adjusted. Quinn's group had a strong opening, but not the depth of answers to finish the contest. NFL.com, what this means for both teams moving forward. Kansas City looks like a team that can still flip the switch when it needs to, and that's huge for a squad chasing consistency. The Chiefs have won multiple in a row, and the Mahomes-Kelce axis remains a top threat when healthy and focused. For Washington, this is a reminder about the fragility of a breakout season. Losing a key piece like Daniels exposes roster limits, and the schedule won't let them stall for long if they want to stay in contention. The 3-5 mark now forces them to chase, and that's a harder hill without their starter. Reuters. If you're watching tape from this one, 3 practical takeaways stand out. 1. Mahomes' halftime performance was a masterclass in tempo and target selection. Pick your spots, hit the seams, and finish drives. 2. Washington's roster lacks the plug-and-play depth a contender needs when a starter is sidelined. Mariota gave them steadiness, but not the same burst. 3. Special teams and short yardage decisions, those early failed fourth down attempts, swing games that look tight on paper but aren't evenly matched when execution wanes. NFL.com quick prediction style note, call it educated. Kansas City's offense is trending up at the right time. If the offensive line keeps its composure and Mahomes avoids costly mistakes, the Chiefs remain a top threat in the AFC. Washington, meanwhile, needs answers at depth and health returns for Daniels to re-enter the playoff conversation. The margin left for error in the NFC is tiny. They can't afford to wait. Arrowhead pride. Bottom line, this was a classic good team takes care of business win for Kansas City. They didn't need to be pretty early. They just needed to be better late. The Commanders showed grit. Did you watch a team look like last year's miracle and then, in the span of one half, feel like a different season entirely? That's what happened Monday night at Arrowhead, a game that began with hope for Washington and ended with Kansas City reminding everyone why they're still the measuring stick. Patrick Mahomes woke up in the second half, the Chiefs flipped the field into offense mode, and the Commanders found out how brutal it is to try to repeat magic without the guy who started it, ESPN.com. For 30 minutes, the scoreboard read something that felt almost unfair given the mismatch on paper, 7-7 at halftime. Washington, missing Jayden Daniels because of a hamstring issue, actually moved the ball well enough early to hang with Kansas City. Marcus Mariota, thrust into the spotlight, connected with Terry McLaurin on a beautiful toe-tap touchdown that kept Washington in the game at the break. That first half looked like a classic trap game for the Chiefs. Sloppy turnovers by Mahomes and a Commanders lineup that refused to panic even on the road. ESPN.com. Then the Chiefs turned it into a second-half clinic. Mahomes finished with 299 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Kansas City's offense found its rhythm right when it mattered. Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and Rashee Rice all made the kind of plays that flipped field position and momentum, while the Chiefs' defense tightened like a vice, forcing turnovers, winning third downs, and making Marcus Mariota uncomfortable on the drives that mattered. As a result was a 28-7 final that looked comfortable enough to make Arrowhead feel like home again. ESPN.com. The bigger story isn't just one bad half. It's the fragile arithmetic of trying to back up a breakout season. Jayden Daniels' absence, a hamstring that kept him out for this game, loomed large. The team's dynamic changes instantly when your rookie of the year and offensive engine is off the field. Daniels had been the heartbeat of a 12-5 surprise run team a year ago. Without him, the offense lost explosiveness, timing, and that improvisational edge that masked other weaknesses. Washington's depth was tested, and for now it's showing the cracks. Reuters. Marcus Mariota did some of what coaches hope when a veteran gets the call. He managed the game, he made plays. That McLaurin touchdown was a beauty, but he also turned the ball over at awkward moments and couldn't find a late-game spark. Mariota ended up with 213 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and a pair of interceptions. Those numbers tell the full story. Competent in spurts, but not the kind of electric performance that erases a half's worth of offensive stall. The Chiefs, conversely, had answers at every turn in the third and fourth. ESPN.com, the defense deserves mention too for both teams. Washington's front fought early, making life uncomfortable for Mahomes briefly, but Kansas City's adjustments after halftime were decisive. The Chiefs' defense forced turnovers, took away easy yards, and showed why they can wear opponents down with pressure and smart leverage from their second-level defenders. When a team with Mahomes' weapons and that kind of defensive support finds a groove, it becomes ugly fast for the opponent. That's exactly what happened after halftime. Arrowhead pride, now the practical fallout. The Commanders are 3-5, and that's not just a number, it's a psychological cliff. You don't expect a team that made the NFC Championship last year and rode a rookie star's shoulder to wobble this early, but the NFL is a lean league. Injuries, depth holes, and mishandled game moments turn promising narratives into urgent questions. With Jayden Daniels expected to return to practice midweek, a positive sign per the team's medical updates, there's at least the possibility of course correction. But practice does not equal game ready, And the stretch ahead, including matchups that test the offensive line and receiving core health, will show whether last season was a springboard or a one-off flash. Reuters. What does this mean for the Chiefs? It's a bit of a reset that looks like momentum preservation. Kansas City improved to 5-3 and showed they can both withstand early bumps and flip a game on its head when the chess match begins. That's vintage Mahomes. 2 shaky possessions early, then an answer to every problem. For a team that's judged by consistency in the playoffs, being able to string wins together after rough starts matters tremendously. Arrowhead looks loud, confident, and calibrated. ESPN.com, for Washington, the narrative is tougher. The raw talent and last year's success are still real. You don't suddenly lose that overnight, but the season just became a test of depth, resilience, and the front office's ability to shore up holes. Can the Commanders protect their quarterback better? Can their play calling do more to hide lineup gaps? Can their coaching staff keep the locker room belief from fraying? Those questions are now active and urgent. Washington Commanders, here's the human image to carry. Here's the human image to carry. A stadium that watched a plausible upset evaporate as one team remembered how to win when the lights got hot, and another that watched its star do warm-up work from afar while its backup soldiered through. The Mahomes-led half-court takeover, the toe tap from Terry McLaurin that briefly reminded everyone how dangerous Washington can be, the quiet worry about a hamstring that's suddenly the season's pivot. Those are the frames that turn a scoreboard into a story. The Washington Post, if there's one thing Monday night made clear, it's this. Repeating a dream takes a full cast. A healthy star, a sturdy supporting cast, and the kind of depth that can survive injuries without a collapse. The Commanders have the pieces on paper, but the NFL measures teams by what they do when the injury bug bites and the playbook tightens. For Kansas City, the lesson was simpler and prouder. When you're built to adjust, you don't need perfection. You just need to make the other team play catch-up. ESPN.com, final image, Mahomes walking off with a clean stat line, the Chiefs sideline buzzing, and Jayden Daniels' name on the injury report with a rehab timeline that gives Washington fans a flicker of hope. Monday was a reminder of how fragile momentum is and how quickly a game can become a season-defining moment. Keep an eye on Wednesday's practice reports. This team's next chapter may hinge on whether its leader is rehabbing or returning.